everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Gangstas. It's Sheila and Maria here from Transformational Gangstas. And this episode, we're talking about creating balance in our lives.
Balance, baby. You know, balance seems to be the buzzword on social media. Life balance, work balance, family balance. Everyone seems to be in search of creating balance in their lives. And like so many of us, like myself, you, our clients, our friends, our family, creating balance doesn't come easy.
That's why we're here today. So don't think you're alone. I think the number one thing people are sharing with us is it just me? Am I just out of balance? And I know we see the people out there on Instagram and they're posting like the perfect pictures of them and their families. And you see them in their homes and they're making those fresh green drinks in the morning.
I love
then
green
they
drinks.
share on their morning walk. And they're doing all of these things, they're having a workout before you even roll out of bed.
Right.
And that could be intimidating, right? And then in the evening you come back and you check back in and you see that they had time to do their yoga and they're fitting in their meditations and classes, and then they're making this beautiful presentation of dinner that you really only have when you go to farm-to-table restaurant. You just don't have time for that.
Right.
So I think almost everyone we talk to says things like, I just have to get balanced. I just have to get myself in balance. I feel out of balance, right? And really to get things under control, that's another thing that people are saying. And this need to feel grounded or to feel comfortable in life, right? So sometimes these words are used interchangeably, like peace, like balance, grounded, connected, and that feel of ease that we want to have in our lives. But how does balance happen, actually, is what we want to talk about. It doesn't just happen.
It's a good question.
Right. It's what you put into it that you get out of it.
Absolutely.
And it can look really different from one person to another. So, like, what makes me feel balanced may not make Maria feel balanced, or any of you to feel balanced. It's super personal, and it's something that we have to connect with. Right, Maria?
Absolutely, Sheila. And for example, I'm a very organized and structured person. And I need to be structured in order to create balance. And I recognize and I acknowledge that everyone is not as organized as I might be. And that's okay, except my definition of being in balance is not going to be the same as, let's say, you, Sheila, or the next person, or the next person. It doesn't matter.
And that's really interesting, because our Mobster to Mentor method details how to create balance that's tailored to what you need. So we help you take a deep dive into what that means for each of you. And Maria and I have not only taken the program, we've developed the program.
Yes.
And we do not suggest a cookie cutter program that helps every single person. It's very personalized. And when we take that time to use these like proven methods, but make them custom to ourselves, we get out so much more than what we put in. We discover what's in balance really in our lives and what makes sense, what's working and what's not working. And then we decide how to get into balance, and we can use step-by-step programs to create peace, to create tranquility, to create comfortable and balance, that home, work, life balance that everyone's talking about.
So important.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like everything else in life, it's what we put in, we get out.
What we put in, we get out.
First off, we have to know what is it we want to get out of creating balance in our life, because it's personal. And when people say that they don't have the time, right? That's one of the biggest things. They're like, I don't have the time. Everything is taking too much time for me. I'm caring for
The
this
kids are in my way. I got to take them to soccer. Whole bunch of stuff, right?
Exactly. Right? You fill in the blank, really. Everyone has their own stress or stressors. And lots of times it's what are we doing for others, right? And our time is getting sucked out of doing things for others. And that's not creating balance in our lives. So there's a saying, if you put garbage in, you get garbage out. So if we put nothing into creating balance in our lives, we're going to get nothing out. Right?
Remember, what you put in, you get out of balance.
Exactly.
So what does that give us? That brings us to the art of allowing things to happen. So let's talk about creating balance by using the art of allowing.
Some people don't know what that is, so we'll talk about the art of allowing.
I love when you share this great stuff.
Well, it's a special art of allowing things to happen naturally in our lives, and not to really like fight against the current, right? So it's really about a letting go of this need to control every single thing in our life. And it creates like this feeling of peace when we think about something, of how it feels to us, and it brings us more like downstream. So when it feels more relaxed, it feels more peaceful, it feels more comfortable. And when we're in that positive state of being in this down current, this downstream, we're much more balanced in our lives. And it's about like letting go and loosening that grip of control.
Control, what a big word. So the art of allowing control and going downstream. Sheila, you taught me this. You said, Maria, and I have learned this before, and I hear other people speaking about being downstream, and I never realized that sometimes in life we're always going upstream and fighting the current. So how do you be in control and still take your little floaty and go downstream? Chill out, hang out. Just think about it for a minute. How does that feel? How does it feel going against the current to fight everything, or letting go and letting the stream pull you? And then my question would be to you, Sheila, is how do you still be in control? The key is to be in balance. If you have your life in balance and you know what you want, you know where you're going, and everything's organized and structured, then you have the ability to stay balanced.
It happens
and go
more automatic,
downstream.
right?
Right, without fighting or exhausting yourself in any way.
Right, exactly.
Like you don't have to learn. You no longer have to fight or work against the current. You go downstream, and that comes with skills. That comes with education. That comes with life. It's literally going with the flow. You know, I wanted to share a story because it was pretty challenging to let go of control in my life. And I controlled everything around me because during my early years and growing up, every move I made was controlled. I was in critical condition. I was taught to fight hard to keep things the way they should be. And by working on letting things go and discovering that peace is also a part of the art of allowing. Peace is part of the art of allowing. In the Mob Sedimento method, we teach myself and many others how to apply the principle to real life situations. So even if you don't feel like you're this yogi type of person and you know how to get grounded, you learn. You go through experiences and circumstances.
So if you create balance in your mind and your mindset, and fill up that positive part of your mind, all those negative stuff can become more in balance, right? And so then we can automatically fall into more ease and allow what is just to be. And then create balance with what is around us. So it's like letting go of the need to control everything and allowing that balance to happen.
But you also have to contribute. So now another way to create balance in our lives is to contribute to what you want. We said earlier that what we put in, we want to get out.
Right.
But if you don't contribute to the education, to the life practices, what you put in is what you're going to get out. So if we put in frustrations, guess what we're going to get out? Frustration. If we put in trying to control and hold on and grasp everything around us, guess what you're going to get out? Frustration and not the art of allowing. When we create balance with contribution to the outcome rather than attempting to control the outcome, sky's the limit.
That's where the magic is.
That's where the magic is.
Exactly. So contribute to your outcome. I love that word. Thank you for sharing that. That was important. So we contribute to our outcomes. How do we do that? So it's what we choose to think about. So with the art of allowing, we allow our circumstances to be, right? And with our contribution to what we want our outcomes to become, we choose what we want to put into our minds, or even better, like what we're allowing to go through our mind. So those like negative or mobster thoughts we talk about, we don't allow them to pass through without us noticing them, right?
That's the key.
Exactly. But when we learn how to program the more positive side or the more self-mentoring side of our brain, we learn to tap into that downstream currency and that frequency of that balance and that peaceful feeling.
Yes. The contribution is the quality of what we're putting into our minds. It's mindfulness. Who is in control? It's either your mobster ball who loves to feed, get fed as well, or it's your inner mentor, your own true best friend. And that we believe being your best friend
Exactly.
always.
And you just brought up mindfulness. So that's another buzzword of the moment, right?
Yeah.
Mindfulness. And you can't put on Instagram without seeing mindfulness everywhere. Mindful posts.
I post
and
it all the
that.
time.
I even have the shirt. I have a mindful sweatshirt I was wearing yesterday.
Do.
So now I want to talk about how do we create balance by using mindfulness, and what is mindfulness, right? How can we be more mindful, and not just like the meme of mindful, but how can we really become more mindful? And if you really Google the word or look it up in the dictionary, I don't think people do that anymore anyhow, you get some sort of definition like quality or state of being conscious or aware of something, or you could even find definitions about it being a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness to the present moment, something like that, to becoming in the present moment, and to become knowledgeable about what's going on in the present moment. So we translate that into connecting the present moment and what's going on in our minds and our bodies with special techniques, and to connect to that downstream again.
So what we're really talking about is how instead of rolling your eyes at a mindful post or not even knowing what the word really should mean, we're gonna break it down for you. And I just want to say something quick. My niece the other day, I was teaching her about mindfulness, and on Facebook she wrote, be mindfulness, it's part of your body, right? So it's a digestible definition, it's part of your body, and it's in our Breaking Free from Obsedimento Mindset Mastery course, we use the mindfulness at its core, which is really mind filtering. Mindfulness is really becoming conscious and aware of how we process information in the present moment. It's a gift, it's a present.
That's a much easier definition.
Yeah, you want to process. You don't want to judge people, right? We want to create special filters with easiness for everyone to use. We want to create mindfulness with every thought as part of our body. And there's special mind filters. They sift through the negativity and they use the positive light and experiences with each moment in life. Know who you're talking to.
Well, and going back to that definition, thank you so much,
You're
because
welcome.
My definition was a lot more long-winded.
Always.
Yeah, it's my
No,
challenge.
okay.
It's more about being aware. Awareness is key. It's number one. And we need to be aware of what's happening around us, our experiences. What are we creating? How do we create this peacefulness in our thoughts, our minds, our bodies, our lives, right? How does that actually happen?
Right.
And this system that we worked on helps us make those filters stronger so that we can connect deeper.
So with that being said, balance starts by creating mindfulness, and mindfulness is being aware of what is happening in everything around us and deciding what we want, what we choose to change, and then putting into place systems that create the lasting change in our lives. Creating more balance and mindfulness in every aspect of our lives is so important. I found out in my own life and through my life struggles that creating balance in life can be very easy. Once we created the systems around it, I realized that if you use your tools, you can be in balance. You'll be in more control because you're balanced, and you have the system around happiness, around mindfulness. Balance is one of the greatest drivers of happiness. And in life, don't we all just want to be happy?
We just want to be happy. That is it. So, we hope that you've enjoyed this sit down with us. And we'll continue our conversations with Gangstas on all of our social media platforms.
Absolutely.
And please join us again during our next episode, where we take deep dives into our inner transformations and how to do those. So thank you so much. And we'll see you again next time.
Until then, stay gangsta.